there, welcome to Subpar Stitches. My name is Hillary and this is my Flosstube channel. I just got done filming my whip parade, so if I'm low energy, that's why. It took a while. It took a lot longer than I thought. But this is going to be regular Flosstube, and it is covering between December 18th and January 8th. Meant to film this sooner, but I didn't, because I've been busy laying on the floor and sleeping a lot. So let's just jump right in. Usually at the beginning, I do shout outs, but I have nobody to shout out because over my winter break, I just was like stocking up floss tubes to save for when I'm at work. And I haven't watched any over the past few weeks, so I don't really have anybody new to share with you. Instead, I'm going to shout myself out because I finally hung up almost everything I have framed. The only thing I didn't was my long dog, because there's nowhere in this room with a big enough wall space that I guess I could do it low, but like that would look weird. It's too big of a frame. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that one. But I will put in like a shot of my chaotic gallery wall that I'm very thrilled about. I actually did this because a few months ago, I was like on a call with Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe, and she was like, you just got to do it. You just got to start hanging stuff up or you never will. And then I woke up one day during my break and was like, I have the urge to hang things. And so I took advantage of that and I hung up literally everything. And I think it looks chaotic. I don't really know how to organize a gallery wall, but I feel like it's fun. I'm glad that they're up. I'm just glad that I've hung everything up. But in saying that, my husband's probably got to get a new job this year. And so we're probably going to have to move. So I like just did all that for nothing. So whatever. Who cares? Anyways, let's be done with shout outs because I have none except for me. And let's move into FFOs, or fully finished objects. And I have two. Who is she? I like never FFO anything because I'm anxious about it. But I did, while I was doing the gallery wall, I was like, oh, I should hang this one up too. So I FFO'd it real quick so I could hang it up on the wall there. And that is the Crusty Alien by Tits. And I just did a really quick hoop finish so I could finish it, or so I could hang it. You can tell it was really quick because the margin on one side is definitely off, but this is something I can take out and redo like a million times over. If anybody has any advice on hoop finishing, because I feel like the back, like I just did a quick, you run it through and then, what do you call that? I've forgotten. But like with Ada, doing hoop finishes like that, I feel like Ada's so stiff, it just doesn't want to lay flat when you like lace it, when you like lace that all together like that. So I don't know. And then I just made some cording so that I could hang it on a command hook. But from far away, I feel like you can't tell that it's totally off center. And like I said, I can fix this again later. I just really wanted to put it up on the wall, and it's so cute. I love it. Crusty Alien. And then the other thing I FFO'd, this is a freaking saga. Like, this is a story that is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. So I wanted to finish my Halloween Needles and Pins book from Romy's Creation, and I started with the fob. And I gotta tell you, I was playing it real fast and loose with the margins. So the way that you finish this, first of all, the instructions, they're not like the worst with this, but they were also just kind of like, sew it together, like the picture on the front. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not very experienced with that. So I kind of had to make a couple of like educated guesses, like how I was going to put the ties and like the hangers in on the Halloween needle book and the fob. And it was obvious that you kind of like sewed it together with a whip stitch in the same manner that you would a biscornu. So I was like, okay. So I cut the margins where I would usually cut when I've done biscornu in the past. I've always done biscornu on Ada. So like Aida doesn't really fray in the same way that even weave does. And so when I cut the margins, it immediately was just like, guess what? Shredded wheat in your hands. And all of my back stitching started to fall out, so I couldn't even like salvage it. I tried and I almost had it, but then I realized that I had sewn one piece right way and one piece wrong way. So I pulled all that out, and then that really just determined that we weren't using back stitching anymore. And then I busted out my sewing machine, was like, I bet we can save this. We'll lose a little of the outer edge stitching, but it'll be fine. So I sewed that together, and then when I turned it inside out, I realized that the hanger for the scissor fob, I didn't sew it on the right way. So I pulled it all out, and I did it again, and my lines were wrong. They were so wrong. They were so not straight. So I pulled it out, and I walked away from it because I was really pissed off. And then several hours later, I came back to it, and I hand sewed it together. And then when I turned it inside out, I just realized it was not good. So I'm going to show it to you, and you guys are allowed to laugh because it's really bad. But I felt Chandria judging me the entire time. So here's the failed fob that I made. I didn't even stuff it because I was so mad. The bottom, you can see like where I stitched it closed. It's just like, it looks so bad. There's supposed to be a white border around this. It's supposed to be a perfect square. When I turned it inside out, like the corners got so wonky, and I was just like, I'm done. I walked away from it. I was like, maybe I can say it's like a headstone shape. And then I couldn't deal with it. So yesterday and the day before, I restitched the whole thing, and I made sure that I had the margins correct. And I ended up using a different color for the hanging portion of it, just because I wanted to incorporate some of the other colors. But now the scissor fob is fine. And then I have the Halloween pins and needles book. So here's the front, here's the back, and then you can open it up, possibly. I just braided some of the threads that were used with the project, and then I sewed them when I was like going around the outer edge. I just kind of made sure to capture some of that and like sew it in. And then there's just some purple felt in the inside. There's like a couple little spidery guys in there, and that's where the needles will go. So very satisfied with this finish. Don't know what the hell happened with that. Probably just gonna throw this one away. I don't know, but I'm glad that I rage restitched that. So next we'll go into FOs, or finished objects. I have quite a few. And the first one is Haters by Shitpost Samplers. This is a free pattern from them that I did as a new start, and it was like a really quick one to stitch. I didn't realize how small it was until I actually started stitching it. Stitch it on an 18 count white Aida by DMC, and I used DMC. The designer, they have a ton of free patterns. Definitely recommend them. They're all really funny. I check their site out pretty regularly. And I like this one because I just thought it was funny. But I will say one of my greatest fears, and I like not even exaggerating, I'm not lying. One of my greatest fears is that someone will be living in my walls or my closet, to the extent that, so when I moved to Japan, the closets in a lot of the homes are a lot deeper because you can put your futon in there every day and then use your room as, you know, like a space that's not like dedicated to a bed. And I had moved into a 2-bedroom, and then it also had a living room, and all 3 of those rooms had those deep, deep closets where like I could comfortably fit in the closet. And I was so afraid someone was going to live in my closet that as soon as I moved in, I stuffed all of my closets just filled with like luggage and blankets and things. And then every time I would leave my apartment, I would open all the closet doors. And then if I came back and I saw one was closed, then I know there was like a man living in there. I'm not kidding. Like, I know it sounds crazy and I know it's kind of funny, but I also truly fear that someone's going to live in my home and, I don't know, eat my food, I guess. It's so scary. I don't know. Then I finished up Snow Angel by Rebel Stitcher. This is on a 28 count mystery cut of even weave that I got from Bestitch Me. It uses all classic colorworks. I had run out of that lighter blue, and so I only needed like 150-ish stitches left, and I placed an order for it, got it, busted it out, and when I went to put the finish in my Notion, I had finished this on January 1st, and I also started it on January 1st of the previous year. So I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that I had done that. He's very cute. He's got nipples. I don't think he needs them, but he's got them. And I think I'm going to eventually turn this into the front of a project bag. Next is a really fun one. This is another Alien by Stitch Tits. It's 14 count Daydream Ada by Crafty Gurumi that I ended up using. Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe, I had posted this pattern on my stories. I had seen it, and she immediately was like, seems like you need to start that. It was New Year's Eve, and I was like, well, maybe. And I had her choose the fabric, and she chose correctly. You can't see it on camera very well. It's one of those like opalescents. I just think it's so fun with this. And I literally watched Hoarders all day and stitched this. That's all I did on New Year's Eve. And I also, halfway through, I was like, I already know I need a good frame for this. Ordered a frame on Amazon on December 31st. It's been lost in transit for like the past 4 days. So I finally just canceled the order and reordered it. So hopefully the frame will get here soon, because I really, really want to frame this and put it on my gallery wall. And then my final finish was the Beekeeper House by Pansy Patch Quilts, which I stitched on a 36 count Speculoos linen by Roxy Floss Co. Here is where it is at. If you watched my, oh, it kind of looks funky in the color there. If you watched my Whip Parade, which I think will be going up before this, and I talk about my plans for 2026 and that, and it was working on my smalls, mediums, and large projects in order of when I started them chronologically. And so like on Monday through Thursday, I work on the oldest large project. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I work on the oldest medium project. And Monday through Friday at work, I work on the oldest small project. This was my oldest small project. And so my first week back at work was, unfortunately, this week, I believe, right? Yeah, it's been horrible. And so I took this to work and finished it up, I think by Wednesday. Yeah. So happy that's out of the rotation. It's cute. It's fun. I like it. It just isn't my typical style. So it was hard to feel motivated, especially because it's very springy and we are in winter. So now we have 2 new starts. And if you watch my Whip Parade, you've seen these because they were the last 2 in the Whip Parade. But the first one is Alice in Wonderland by Owl Forest, and I'm stitching this on a 44 count pale blue linen. I don't know who it's by. I picked it up off of the freebie table at StitchCon one of the years that I've gone, and I'm using the Owl Forest threads. I did buy a different fabric for this, and then I realized when I was pulling it out to work on it that the white, because I'm doing the tricolor Alice in Wonderland, there's 2 different versions. There's full color, and then there's one that's like a grayish black, red, and a white version. And I realized that the white was going to fully just ghost on that one. And so I went into panic mode, dug through my stuff, and the only thing that I had that I felt like it would fit with color-wise and size-wise was this 44 count linen. So honestly, I wasn't going to do that much work and have 1/3 of the project be invisible. So I think that I made a good choice. I like the colors together. I think that this light blue is a good neutral base for these. So this was a free sal from Owl Forest. So I'm doing it in the order of the sal. So I started right in the middle, did the first chunk of the sal, and then I was just kind of like not in the mental capacity headspace to continue working on a 44 count linen. And so I ended up starting something else once I got that first part done. And that something else was these Kanto badges by, I don't know if I'm saying this right. It's Srithri. It's being done on a 14 count plastic canvas, and I'm using DMC. I just needed something that I could kind of turn my brain off for. So I'm not too far, only a few hundred stitches in. There's 8 badges. I just ran out of black, and then I was like, I'm going to lay on the floor. I didn't feel like getting more. But I'm waiting on an Ita bag, which if you don't know what an Ita bag is, it's a Japanese style of like purse that has like a clear window, and itai means like ouch or pain or it hurts in Japanese. And they're called Ita bags because they're so painful to look at because you've got so many pins and keychains and things hanging off of them. And I got, because of Tara from Wilda Woman Crafts, she let me know about this Kickstarter, and we both backed it, and we're just waiting for our bags to come. They look like Game Boy Advance SPs, and so I'm so excited. It's supposed to ship this month. It's been delayed since like October, just production stuff, but I want to make these pins. I bought some pin backs, and I just will stick those on the back of these when they're done, and I'll be able to put them in my Ita bag. So now we're moving right along into whips, and of course the first one, as per usual, is the Epic Pokemon Generation 1 by Lord Libidin, 18 count white Ada by Kato, all DMC. I moved over to this side and I filled in so much. I'll give you a close up on that section because I just have been working like crazy over there. And I did get to the bottom before and I cut that off. So really you can see how little I have left. I have just over 30,000 stitches left. But I figured that way I can kind of move back and forth and keep, because like sometimes when you come into this area where it's all white space, you're like, oh, I've got so much to do, and I feel a little demotivated. And then sometimes I feel like, oh, there's like a lot of big chunks of like these single colors that I can do, so I can bust out a lot at once. So it's like in the blank spaces, you can kind of go either way. And then in these spaces, I'm like, oh, I'm almost done with this section if I just keep pushing through. Or I'm like, oh my God, there's so much confetti that I have to do because I left all the little bits to last. So it's just kind of whatever my mood is. But I'm on track to finish by April. So we'll see. We'll see. And if you watched my whip parade, I did talk about, like I said, my plans. This is one of the large projects. And my goal is to do 2,000 stitches a week in a large project in chronological order. So once I finish this large project, then I will be moving on to my next one, which is Nostalgic Tarot by the Witchy Stitcher. Then the only other whip that I have, because I finished all my other stuff, is the Quacker Sampler by Star Parade Designs. This is considered a medium project, so I'm going to be working on this on weekends until it is finished. And once I finish this, the only 2024 project that I have left, no, the only 2023 project I have left will be the Pokemon one that I just showed you. But this is being done on 32 count blue spruce linen by probably Zweigart. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. And I'm using Gentle Arts in the color linen, but it's cotton. That's always so confusing to say for me. Making really good progress on it. I will be working on this today because it's Friday when I'm filming this. I've only got like 4,000, a little bit over 4,000 stitches left on this. So if I really work hard this weekend and next weekend, I will be able to finish it by next weekend. The only problem is this linen frickin' sucks. I hate it so much. It's got a really loose weave. So every time I put it in any kind of hoop or anything, it kind of splits. I don't know if you can see. Hang on, let me find a better example. So on the edge, you can kind of see these like weird, I guess they look kind of like wrinkles on the camera, but it's like the weave of the linen is just like loosening up, and I can kind of fix it if I like scratch at it a little bit with my nail and kind of like even out the threads, but it's very annoying and I hate it. And I will be so glad to be done with this linen. If I were to redo this project, I would use a different linen just because this particular linen is not my favorite. Like there's enough at the bottom that I could use for like a small like ornament cut. I might not even do that. Usually I'm so freaking finicky with fabric. Like, I'm like, I'll save a piece like this big. I'll be like, I can do something with that. Because fabric's not cheap. So I'm like fabric frugal, but with this one, I'm like, throw it away. I don't need it. But I don't know why I'm like folding this up and putting it away, because I'm going to get it right back out. So I'm just going to throw it on the floor. So that was everything for my whips, which leads me into other crafts. And the only other craft I worked on was my scarf, which is called the Japanese video game scarf, but it is based on the Katamari games. And I forgot to put a like marker of where I was the last time, but I really didn't get that much further. You guys have not missed much. This is my first double knit project, and I really like it. I just need to learn how to be faster. Because usually I'm not that slow of a knitter, but like with this, it's just a different kind of technique that I'm not as used to. So I'm going to put a marker on it so we can see where I end up. This was from Tara of Wilda Woman Crafts. She got me these over the garden wall stitch markers, and they're so cute. I like the Rock Fact ones. So we're going to shoop that right in there. I always get anxious putting markers in because I'm like, I'm going to ruin my knitting. And then next time, we'll see how far I got, or how not far I got. And yeah, I need to finish this, because here's the problem, is that this designer, this woman, she continually releases crap that I want to make too fast. And she just announced that she's doing an Animal Crossing scarf, and it's like fully customizable of whatever villagers you want to put on there. And I'm like already daydreaming about what mine would look like. So I need to finish this, because this is actually, my brother requested I make this for him. I don't even want to give it to him. I want to keep it because I love it so much, but alas, he already knows that I'm working on it, so I can't keep it. I have a little bit of haul. So over my winter break, my sister and I went to a couple stores in like the Detroit area. I had been wanting to go to this place called Arts and Scraps, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's like you can donate your old like craft supplies and stuff like that, and then people can buy it, and it's really cheap. Like the deal that I got was insane. But you know, it was great for someone like me who uses a lot of other types of like ephemera and things in my fiber crafts, but my sister's main craft is crochet, and so she's only really looking for like yarn or like crochet hooks or stuff like that. She doesn't do a lot of like extra little stuff. Like with cross stitch finishing, I can add like buttons and beads and all kinds of crazy stuff, but I definitely will be going back when I have a big chunk of time to just dig through stuff, because there was just tubs and tubs and tubs of stuff. But I did pick up a couple of things, and here's the thing, I didn't really understand the pricing structure at all. So I was like, I just had like a handful of stuff, and I was like, God, I hope this is like less than 20 bucks. I paid $6 and some change for all the stuff I'm about to show you. And you'll see why at the end, like why I'm like so baffled. So like first, I found these like extra tiny hoops, and I thought these would be great for like framing some like tiny stuff. So like maybe some of my quirky Quakers might fit in these, and if not, like there's plenty of tiny stuff that I can frame in them. But like they had a whole bucket of these, and the bucket said that they were like $1 a piece. So I only grabbed 3, even though there was a ton in there. I don't think they charged me $1. I think they charged me way less, because like I said, all this stuff came out to like $6. I got some buttons. These, I just thought these would be fun. I love stitching Biscornu, and I thought these were a fun button color that I could probably use for a Biscornu at some point. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I thought it was very cute. It's like, let me take it out of the bag. It's a cute little like wooden kind of bead type thing that looks like a bobbin. So I was just like, I could probably tie that onto something. There was a few patterns that I was like kind of mulling over, but I didn't really grab too much. But I did grab this. So this is called Coasters 2 by Serendipity Designs. I saw these like goofy unicorns on the front, but what really drew me in was that specific snail and the turtle. I think my husband would like those. For the most part, I think it's just the turtle and the snail and maybe the unicorns I would stitch. And then I would pass this along. I probably paid like 12 cents for it. But the reason why, when the lady told me that my total was $6, I about threw up because I was like, how is that real? They had this. It's an oak box. It says designed to display needlework, quilting, photos, whatever. 100% solid oak, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and it's brand new in its package. It had a Michael's price tag sticker on it. It fell off, but it said almost like $19 or $20. So I was like expecting this to cost like 10 to 15 at this place because I was like, oh, we're going by thrift store rules. And she was like, oh, I'm so glad that, like, you got this. And, like, obviously you're into, like, needlework type stuff. And I feel like you're going to get good use out of it. And everything was $6. And I was like, oh, my God. Thank God it was, because the next store we went to was a yarn store. I can't even remember what it was called. My sister took me there and we did a couple laps. And then I grabbed, like, a $37 skein of yarn. Oh, my God. It's in the color Scorched Lime, and I just was like, I have to have this. I'm thinking about making some like fingerless gloves with it. It's 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. So I feel like these would be a really nice like fingerless glove. They match my pea coat, so I don't know, great $37 pair of gloves. I got to the checkout and I paid for it, and then I was just like, $37. Okay, making great financial choices. Anyways, that was my haul. I really didn't get much else. I got some DMC, but that's not thrilling at all. And then as far as plans go, I'm gonna keep working on Pokemon and the Quacker Sampler until both are finished. My next small that I will be working on at work is the February Rose-Breasted Cockatoo by Lindy Stitches. That's not going to take that long, like probably 2 days max. And then I will immediately pick up Big Hearted Tiny Town, which is like next on my list of smalls. So I'm probably going to churn through the smalls pretty quickly. Once I run out of smalls, I'll probably just start new smalls. I could just bring mediums to work, but I don't want to do that. So we'll see. And if that small, medium, large talk didn't make any sense to you, I explained it in my my whip parade that I just filmed, and I'm too tired to explain it again. So that is going to be it from me. I have to clean up this mess and then probably cross stitch for a while. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.